If you're an international worker or student in the UK right now, stop everything and listen to this. By the end of 2027, your entire path to staying in this country could be shattered, with visa timelines doubled, jobs vanishing from sponsorship lists, and costs skyrocketing in ways that could force thousands back home without warning. You think you've got your plans locked in? Think again. These 8 massive immigration overhauls are already ripping through lives. And if you don't act fast, you could be next. Welcome to UK Visa Update, where we cut through the chaos and give you the truth you need to survive this storm. Picture this. You're halfway through your skilled worker visa, grinding away in a job you love, building a life in London or Manchester, sending money home to your family, dreaming of that indefinite leave to remain just a couple of years away. Then bam, out of nowhere, the rules flip, your timeline stretches to a decade, your English test is suddenly invalid, and your employer can't even renew your sponsorship because your role's been axed from the list. This isn't some distant threat. It's happening right now to real people like you, and the government's piecemeal rollout means most folks are blindsided until it's too late. If you're watching this and feeling that knot in your stomach, good. That's the urgency kicking in, because these changes aren't just tweaks. They're a full-scale rewrite of the UK's immigration playbook designed to tighten the screws on everyone who's not a high-earning elite or a public sector hero. Let me take you back to where this all started. Back in early 2025, the UK government was facing mounting pressure. Public outcry over net migration numbers hitting record highs, headlines screaming about strained NHS services, overcrowded schools, and housing shortages blamed on influxes of overseas workers. Politicians from both sides were scrambling, but it was the Home Office under the new administration that decided enough was enough. They commissioned reports from the Migration Advisory Committee, crunched the data on labor shortages, and rolled out what they called a balanced reform package. But balanced? Hardly. This was a strategic clampdown, phased in over years to avoid outright riots or legal challenges, starting with low-hanging fruit like care sector bans and trickling up to gutting graduate opportunities. The background here is rooted in post-Brexit realities. The UK wanted to control its borders more fiercely, attract only the best and brightest, while plugging gaps in domestic training. Yet, what they've unleashed is a system that's more punitive, more bureaucratic, and frankly, more hostile to the very people keeping industries afloat. Now, let's talk scale. This isn't affecting a niche group. We're looking at hundreds of thousands of lives upended. Official stats from the Home Office show over 700,000 skilled worker visas issued in the last 5 years alone, plus nearly 500,000 international students arriving annually. These changes hit across the board, from Indian IT specialists in Birmingham to Nigerian nurses in Edinburgh, Filipino teachers in Leeds to Brazilian researchers in Oxford. The July 2025 ban on overseas social care recruitment, that alone stranded recruitment pipelines for over 50,000 potential workers, exacerbating staffing crises in care homes where vacancies already topped 150,000. Then, the ILR extensions in April 2026, analysts estimate this pushes back settlement for at least 200,000 medium-skilled migrants, forcing them into repeated visa cycles that cost an extra $5,000 to $10,000 per person in fees, not to mention the emotional toll. Graduate visa cuts, that's shortening post-study work for over 100,000 students yearly, slamming doors on entry-level jobs in a market where sponsorship is already scarce. And don't get me started on the sponsor license revocations. Hundreds of businesses, from small cafes to mid-sized tech firms, have been stripped of their ability to hire globally, leading to layoffs and forced departures. The scale is massive, rippling out to families split apart, communities losing vital contributors, and even the economy taking hits as sectors like hospitality and healthcare scramble. But it's the human impact that really hits home, doesn't it? Imagine Aisha, a 28-year-old from Pakistan, who came to the UK in 2022 on a skilled worker visa as a retail supervisor. She was on track for ILR in 2027, had just bought a flat, was supporting her parents back home. Then July 2025 rolls around, and her job level gets yanked from the sponsorship list. Suddenly, she's scrambling to switch roles. But with the English requirement jumping to B2 in January 2026, her old test is worthless. She fails the retake under stress, her visa renewal gets denied, and she's packing bags, leaving behind friends, a budding relationship, and years of taxes paid into the system. Or take Raj, an Indian master's graduate in Manchester class of 2026. He planned to use his 2-year graduate visa to land a tech gig, but come 2027, it's slashed to 18 months. Job hunts drag on, sponsorship falls through because employers balk at the hiked immigration skills charge from December 2025, and he's deported, his degree gathering dust while debts pile up. These aren't hypotheticals. Forums are flooded with stories. Parents separated from kids, mental health crises spiking, suicides even, as the uncertainty crushes dreams. The human cost is in the tears, the sleepless nights, the what-ifs that keep you up, wondering if all your sacrifices were for nothing. Diving into the technical side because you need to understand the nuts and bolts to fight back. First off, the RQF Levels Regulated Qualifications Framework classify jobs by skill complexity. Levels 3 to 5 cover intermediate roles like supervisors, technicians, and managers without degrees. From July 22, 2025, these can't sponsor unless the MASI, Migration Advisory Committee, flags an exemption for acute shortages. Exemptions are rare, decided quarterly based on labor data, so if your SOC code, Standard Occupational Classification, falls in there, check the latest MAC report. Then the social care ban, specifically for codes 6145 and 6146, care workers and seniors. No new overseas hires post-July 2025, but pre-existing visas are grandfathered if no breaks in status. The English bump, CEFR B1 to B2, means intermediate to upper intermediate. Tests like IELTS need 5.5 overall minimum, up from 4.0. Applies to skilled, scale-up, and HPI visas. Renewals too, so retake if your cert's old. ILR extensions, baseline now 10 years for salaries under 50K, but 5 years if over or an NHS education. Public funds over 12 months, 20 years. Overstay, 30. Continuous residence means no more than 180 days out per year, documented meticulously. Graduate visa, 24 to 18 months for undergrad, masters from Jan 1, 2027, PhDs untouched at 36, university fees $925 per student annually from AUG 2028, tied to compliance audits. Skills charge hike, 32% up, so 132 to 120 a year. For SMEs, more for larges, and revocations, home office audits for record keeping, worker monitoring, while else you one slip, license gone. The authorities' response? The Home Office spins this as fair and sustainable, with spokespeople like the immigration minister touting it in press releases as protecting British jobs and curbing abuse. They've ramped up enforcement teams by 20%, launching Operation Vigilance in late 2025 to audit sponsors, leading to those hundreds of revocations. But critics, including the MAC itself, have called out flaws. Reports in The Guardian highlight how the care ban worsened NHS backlogs, with waiting lists jumping 15%. Unions like Unison protested, arguing it exploits domestic workers without proper training funds. The government's thrown some bones, expanding global talent quotas in November 2025, upping slots by 30% for tech and science, streamlining apps with digital endorsements. But overall, their stance is unyielding. Appeals to MPs get form letters, and legal challenges via judicial review are stacking up, with success rates under 40%. Oversight? The Independent Chief Inspector of Borders and Immigration has flagged concerns in annual reports, noting poor communication leading to wrongful refusals, but recommendations often get ignored, buried in bureaucracy. If you're watching this and thinking, what do I do now? Here's your step-by-step guidance to navigate this mess. Step 1. Audit your status immediately. Log into your UKVI account, pull your visa grant letter, note your entry date, category, salary, and SOC code. Cross-check against the latest appendix skilled occupations on gov.ocb. If your job's RQF 3.5, start job hunting for level 6+ roles. Use sites like Indeed or LinkedIn, filter for visa sponsorship, and network via expat groups on Facebook. Step 2, English proficiency. Book a BDU test ASAP if renewing post-Jan 8, 2026. Providers like British Council or Trinity offer prep courses aimed for practice tests to hit that 5.5 IELTS equivalent. If your old B1 is expiring, don't delay. Refusals are rampant. Step 3, map your ILR timeline. Use the online settlement calculator on gov.uk. Input your arrival date. If pre-April 2026 and on a 5-year path, gather proofs like P60s, bank statements, utility bills showing continuous residence. If now 10 years, budget for renewals. Each skilled worker extension is $704 plus $1,035 health surcharge per year. Step 4. For students, maximize your graduate visa. Graduate early if possible, apply within UK before course end, then hustle for jobs. Target firms with sponsor licenses via the register on gov.uk. Network at career fairs. Polish your CV to highlight skills over experience. Step 5. Cost planning. Factor in the 32% skills charge impact. Negotiate with employers for salary bumps to hit 50 Kia for faster ILR. Save for extras. English test 200, visa fees 1,000 plus, biometrics 20. Step 6, compliance check, and if sponsored, request your employer's audit readiness. Ensure your records match theirs on hours, pay, duties. Update address changes within 10 days via UKVI. But what if things go south? Escalation options are key. First, administrative review. ADA fee, 28 days to challenge refusals if procedural error, like ignoring grandfathering. Success? About 25%. Next, judicial review. Hire a solicitor via OISC-regulated firms. Costs $2,000 or $5,000. Grounds like irrationality or illegality. Groups like the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants offer free advice. Appeal to your MP. Use writetothem.com. Share your story. Some have swayed Home Office discretion. For sponsor issues, if license revoked, you get 60 days to find new sponsorship. Apply for shortage occupation exemptions if applicable. Worst case, voluntary departure schemes avoid bans, but explore switches to other visas like Innovator or Partner routes. Join campaigns. Petitions on change.org have hit 100,000 signatures pushing for ILR reversals. And don't forget mental health support. Charities like Migrant Help or Mind offer counseling for the stress. Now, oversight concerns run deep here, and you need to hear this. The Home Office's track record is spotty. Windrush scandal echoes, where poor record-keeping deported citizens. Current audits show 15% error rates in decisions per inspector reports, with ethnic biases flagged in AI tools for visa processing. Transparency lacking. Rule changes announced via statements to Parliament, but guidance updates lag, causing traps like invalid English certs. Who's watching the watchers? The inspector role was diluted in 2025, reports delayed, and parliamentary scrutiny via the Home Affairs Committee is underfunded. Advocacy groups like Migration Watch UK and Refugee Tales push for reforms, but power imbalances mean migrants bear the brunt. If you're affected, document everything, emails, decisions for potential class actions brewing in courts. As we wrap this up, let me paint a picture of hope amid the chaos. Remember Maria, a Filipino care worker who arrived pre-ban? She fought back, switched to a senior role exemption, rallied her community, and now mentors others through the maze, turning her near deportation into a story of resilience. Or Liam, an Australian grad hit by the visa cut. He pivoted to global talent, landed a tech sponsor, and fast-tracked ILR by upping his salary game. These stories aren't outliers. They're proof that knowledge is power. You've got the tools now, the dates, the steps, the escalations. Don't let the system grind you down. Rise up, adapt. Connect with others in the same boat through forums like UK Yankee or expat.com. Share your wins, your struggles. It builds a network stronger than any policy shift. If you're watching this and realizing your dreams are still within reach, that's the fire we need. The UK has always been a land of opportunity for those who persevere, from the post-war rebuilders to today's innovators. These changes test us, but they don't define us. Stay vigilant, plan smart, and remember, your contribution matters, your story inspires. Hit like if this lit a spark. Subscribe to UK Visa Update for the next deep dive. We're breaking down ILR proofs and acceleration hacks soon. Comment below what's your biggest hurdle and how are you fighting it. Share this video far and wide. Together, we turn the tide. Until next time, keep pushing. Your UK future is yours to claim.